give that type of authorization and authentication access using IAM. So you can give only read access, or you can give only write access, and you can give full access on EC2 services. So the same way, you have a storage you need to provide only for some users. They need only a storage services, and some people, they just need only DB. I mean, DBA guy, he just needed DB services, or he just want to work on DB services, right? So you need to give just access to them for only DB servers or only DB services access. So that's it. So these type of accessibility you are going to give on identity access management. AWS, this identity access management is just a web service. Okay, so everything on AWS is a web service REST API. So it is going to call through just normal REST API, and you can able to create the security control to particular user with the particular resource. So some X user wants some A service, some Y user want B service, some Z user want all services. So you are going to give a access with the console as well as with the cloud formation, and that is AWS IAM. And AWS S3. So S3 is the storage service. So the same way, anyway, initially you are going to create the environment, and you just provided services. I mean, you just provided access to few of the customers or few of your internal employees. Okay, so these are the real real services you are going to use. So why you need a storage? So it is very simple. So in your storage, you can able to save your application related image files, or some logs which is going to generated by your application, or some media files, some video files. Everything is going to store in a using this simple storage service. One real-time example I am going to explain you here. So there is a NextBit Robin mobile. So they are going to give you 100 GB of storage. So how they are going to give? So based on in their application, they are going to give 100 GB per user storage space on AWS account. So here they will create you one bucket. So in that bucket, they will provide you 100 GB space, and you can able to access that 100 GB space into that particular user. So they will gonna implement total this type of environment using on simple storage service or AWS S3. So S3 is a storage which is going to be accessible from the internet. Okay, so AWS anyway, it is basically it is going to be accessible through internet. So if you are going to move, or if you are going to put some gateways, or put some subnets into your local environment, or in your office environment, you can do it. But initially, default, it will gonna access from the internet. So it is designed to make web scale computing easier, and S3 has a simple interface. Anyway, even you can able to access S3 through the web interface, and you can use to store and retrieve at any amount of data at any amount of time from anywhere on the web. So you can able to access all these data from the cloud, or from this from the cloud at any point of time. And also you can increase your storage at any point of time. Okay, S3 stores the data on objects within your bucket. So initially you need to create a bucket, and on the buckets your data is going to store like a objects. Okay, so object consists of a file and files, and optionally it might be any metadata which is related to, or which is described your files content. So the simple, so let's say the NextBit Robin phone have a 100 GB of cloud space. So as a user, they will create a buckets for you, and your mobile, your mobile is going to store the data into that buckets, so that in that buckets all your files, media files or images, everything is going to stored in the objects, and all these objects related data is going to store under meta files as a metadata files. So we will look into later. So anyway, even S3 is also going to be scalable, and it is also going to pay by usage policy. Everything, each and every service is going to be pay per usage policy only. And next, EC2 service. As I already told you, EC2 is dedicatedly for from infrastructure as a service. Okay, so EC2 service is a direct. So if you want a Linux server, or if you want Ubuntu server, or if you want a Windows server, so you can able to create using AMI. So it is something like a image files, but it is readily accessible, or once you are going to build, or once you are going to create based on your selection of a RAM size or storage size, and some key is there. So based on that keys, so you are going to able to create the server, and you can able to access your Linux server from at any point of time. So even EC2 server also, you can able to uh, I mean hello.
Sir, just I rejoined just 1 minute back. The audio got disconnected, so I rejoined. Sir, we were discussing till the EC2 instance.
Okay, anyway, EC2 instance, I will explain. So EC2 instance is nothing but you are going to use a Linux server. Okay, Linux servers or Windows server or Ubuntu server, and Amazon have their own set of images for all these instances, which is going to be um, useful or ready to use machines. Okay, so so this is the service which is going to be infrastructure as a service. So it is just you will get a Linux server or whatever server you want, and you will get a default virtual private connectivity, and you will get a private key, everything. So you can able to directly access from your Windows machine or Mac or anything. Okay, so this is the service is going to be your a base Linux server or base Windows machine, something like that. EC2 is elastic cloud compute. Okay, so this is a like a server. So, and RDS, R, the same way, RDS is also a relational database service. Okay, so this is also a direct simple step by step accessibility steps, and it is also a scalable service, and this is specifically a relational database service. And DynamoDB is a non-SQL DB, which is similar like MongoDB, Cassandra, CoachDB, but this is a relational database. RDS right now providing Amazon Aurora, which is which is something like a refined MySQL database, and Oracle database, Microsoft SQL Server, PostgreSQL Server, and MySQL, and also MariaDB. So these 6 services or 6 engines is going to provide by your Amazon on your Amazon RDS service. For example, if you don't want to give pay any of the um, fees, so you better use PostgreSQL and MariaDB or MySQL, but don't touch on Oracle DB and MS SQL, because these two services you are going to pay by um, license fees. Okay, even if you are going to just create your DB within a 5-10 minutes, and if you are going to stop that servers, you need to pay a basic service usage fee or licensing fee. You need to pay from Amazon uh, your Amazon account. Okay, and Amazon RDS is handles, and the main purpose anyway, the creation, installation, configuration, everything. Even you can also simply you can also can build, or you can also um, work out, right? But what is the main usage of AWS RDS? So the main important thing is Amazon can itself handles the time consuming activities like provisioning in the sense you can scale up your RDS and patches, backup, recovery, failure detection, and repair activities. So all these type of activities is going to take care by your um, Amazon. You are not going to get tense on all these type of time consuming activities. Okay, so you just go and use that service, that's it. You no need to worry of all these activities, but the same way you will get less control. You can just able to access your service, and your application is going to just connect this service. Okay, so it depends on your requirement which service you are going to use. Okay, few of the couple of enterprise companies, so if they want to host their databases, few of the companies is going to install their DB service on EC2, and they will access. But few of these companies which are a small scale or any social sites, so they need immediate solutions. So that type of organizations, they will use this RDS service as a platform service. Okay, and VPC is a virtual private cloud. It is something like a it provides you the virtual network environment. Okay, so what it is means virtual network environment, it includes your few set of IP addresses range, creation of subnets, configuring routing table, and network gateways. So all these type of different functionalities which is related to network. So the private virtual cloud which is related to virtual network environment, everything is going to set up using VPC. So let's say if you are going to access your EC2 server, you need to add initially defaultly they are going to assign one VPC into your environment. But if you want to get complete access in your network, you can configure from here. So let's say there is a few servers which is public facing servers, something like a web servers. So our load balancers is going to host these public or internet directly accessible internet services. You can able to put this as a public face, so directly through internet you can able to access this service, and few services which is going to hide from the internet in your entire application, something like database services or application servers. So these type of servers you don't want to give a direct access, because your application is going to hacked by someone. So anyone direct accessibility would be your load balancers. So these load balancers only can able to access the internet, and the remaining backend services is going to be in your private network. So these type of public and private network configurations you are going to see on AWS VPC. So AWS VPC also initially they will give you a very small amount of um, I mean a number of VPC account, but you just send out a mail to AWS support team. They will immediately give a more number of AWS VPC connections, and on top of it you can able to create more subnets. Okay, so you can able to increase your number of IP addresses into your environment. It is very easy to access, and it is also just API you can access even from any of the third party applications also. And AWS Direct Connect make it easy to establish a dedicated network connection from your premises or in your local environment or in your office environment to AWS. So something like some of the important services, important functionalities you don't want to expose outside or from the internet. Even though you have a VPC side, you can able to hide your environment, but even though you don't want to give some accessibility for few of the services, using AWS Direct Connect you can block, or you don't give access to the AWS services. In that case you can use AWS Direct Connect. You can establish a private connectivity between AWS and your data center or office. And the advantage of a direct I mean direct without giving direct access, it reduces the network cost and it increases the bandwidth throughput. So some of the services you don't need to be accessible by all the users, something like analytic services. So analytic services is going to take care by your own company teams. So in that case, so you don't go directly access from the internet. So in that case your bandwidth throughput and network cost is going to be high, but right now it is not much uh, costly anyway, but it is but it is still, it should be some improves your connectivity between your local it should, it's working like your local environment, and I mean your local network. So anyway, in your local network it would be you can able to access somewhat faster. So in that type of environment you can able to build using AWS Direct Connect. Okay, AWS Direct Connect and VPC, which is similar, but the main advantage of Direct Connect is your subnets is going to if you are going to configure subnet which is very relate I mean which is accessible in your local network. So your services you can able to access like your local environment. So you can able to speed up your activities and you don't need to expose from through internet. We will look into it more on at the time of this particular service. And AWS Kinesis, this is something like I mean uh, analytic tool. Okay, AWS Kinesis have internally two separate components. One is Kinesis Streams and Kinesis Firehouse. So it is something like analyzing the process to enable to build a custom applications that process, analyze streaming data for specialized nodes. It continuously captures and stores the some TBs of data from different sources. Okay, so it is simple. Let's say I want to know how much user traffic from the different from the real time world. Okay, let's say Amazon have a Alexa site. So Alexa contains the information of websites traffic and websites number of users in which country is located and all the analytic data they are going to save in their website. And once you are going to log in you will get few basic details, and if you are going to pay some money, you will give insight analytics data. So in that scenarios, they will get different sources of information, and they are going to stream the data, and they are going to analyze the data based on the different business intelligence tools, and it will stores on their S3 servers. So it is very it is something like collecting all the data and stores in your S3 server, and this stored data or collecting all the streaming data and stores in your storage, and this data is going to connect with some other third part, I mean some other business intelligence tool. So this business intelligence tool is going to access or utilize, or it can analyze the data and gives the business related insight, in-depth analytic report to the business development teams. Okay, so this Kinesis is collecting this all this data, streaming data continuously from different source of server to store in the S3 cloud, S3 on our storage or in your storage servers. So Kinesis is like a collecting the data using for analytics services. And CloudFront, I already explained you. CloudFront is something like a uh, content delivery environment. So simply I'm going to explain you. So let's say you have a google.com, and you have a yahoo.com. So let's say if you are click on yahoo.com in India, it will redirect to yahoo.co.in. The content in Indian region, you will get that particular content into Indian environment. And if you are going to click it is in US, it would be yahoo.com. So the content, so this CloudFront service, whatever content is going to use in your regional level, so that particular content is going to store in that local region. So for CloudFront, Amazon using some edge locations. So in India, we have edge servers, or edge location is in Delhi. uh, it is it is difference between regions on Amazon services, and it is different on edge. So I will explain you later clearly. Anyway, but CloudFront's related service is going to use on your edge, you are going to, if you want to store some delivery content, and you are going to store in the edge servers, which is local to your environment. So let's say if I don't have a Delhi which is nearly, in that case I'm going to store my files, media files, something like videos, audio, or any images into uh, very nearby servers, something like it would be something nearby like Singapore or Tokyo or something like that. If whatever is nearby in your environment. So nearby environment in the sense you can easily access that content. Okay, so the main advantage is requests for your content are automatically routed to the nearest edge location, so the content is delivered with best possible performance. So it is in a Delhi. Anyway, even in US content, you will get it fast, but even it improves more performance. That is the main advantage of CloudFront. So CloudFront region edge location is available in a Delhi, and Amazon regional level data center is available in Mumbai. This one is different, and this one is different. I will explain you regional level configurations later. And AWS Route 53, AWS Route 53 is highly scalable and highly available domain naming service. Okay, initially yeah, they have a, so right now for any of the environment needs some naming service in your environment. Okay, so for that particular um, thing, they are going to use this route 53 service, and it effectively connects user requests to inform running AWS services, something like EC2, load balancing, and S3 bucket. So let's say if the next time, I mean in the next class or at the time of EC2 server installation or configuration, you can, once you are going to build one of the EC2 server, so in that time you will get one naming service also. Okay, you will get the naming service, something like some xyz dot amazon aws, I mean amazon service.com, something like that. I will show you in that time. So that type of naming service you will get from the route 53. Route 53 is simple DNS server, but it is highly scalable and highly available service. And simple notification, which is um, very simple. This particular service is very much useful for the mobile application development. So uh, uh, we have one application. Okay, like you take it as a Flipkart application. So in your smartphone, sometimes you will get some notifications from the Flipkart, something like today we have offer, and or 2 days you will get a 50% off in particular item or a particular range of products, something like clothing or electronics or something like that. So that type of service is going to be useful using this particular service. Simple notification service is something like a push notification service from your mobile application environment. So mobile developer can able to use this particular service. So it is very important for mobile developers. So any of the mobile developer, they want, and right now in today's scenarios they are using this notification service. So this is something like a platform as a service. um, and right now they are supporting for iOS, for Apple iOS, Google Android, and Fire OS, which is related to Amazon Android based Amazon phone, Amazon OS. And also Windows OS also they are going to support. Okay, so this is a you will get a notification on your app or on your smartphones. And also you will get messages if you SMSs, if you are in US region using this service. Even you can send your customers to SMSs, but it is available only on US till now. And also you can send emails also, apart from push other than push notification, you can send unlimited emails to your customers using this service. So someday you are going to give us some message, and you can send emails to your customers. So it will gonna integrate all the mail chips and something third party uh, group mailing related companies or services you are going to use, and you can able to access it. Okay, so this is a mobile application related service, something like a platform as a service. And AWS SWF, which is a workflow service, this is something like a B2B a, a B2B related service. So business to business people can able, I mean in a background side, they might use this service. This is also something like a platform as a service. SWF helps developers build, run, and scale background jobs that have parallel or sequential steps. So this particular service advantage is if you are going to run any of the jobs from the developer perspective, so you can able to monitor the jobs, you can able to monitor how much time, I mean, if it is more than 500 milliseconds, you can able to track the state of the process which is currently run using this service. So and also you can retry, and you can retry, and you can recover that particular job using this simple workflow service. This is related, purely related to developers perspective. And these type of services we can we can able to show you the basic, I mean, uh, I can able to just show you how it is going to work out. Okay, so it is completely depends on your developer how it is going to use by them. Okay, so you just need to provide the environment. So based on the environment, he's gonna work with you, and he's gonna do what type of jobs they want to monitor, or what type of activity they are going to use this service. This is purely platform as a service. Okay, and another important one is elastic map reduce. This is also a particularly useful for mm, I mean, developers. Map reduce, which it is like a Hadoop service. Okay, big data processing service. So map reduce, this elastic map reduce is a big data processing, and it provides and helps you to build the Hadoop framework, and it is easy, fast, and cost effective solutions. And it distributes process vast amount of data across EC2 instances. And also it is going to be it is not only work out on Hadoop framework, and also it is going to useful for you if you are going to use Apache Spark platform also. Okay, and also let's say if you have a EMR or elastic map reduce, and map reduce related service is going to run on your some EC2 server, and the data, the main core big data is going to store in your S3, so it can easily interact with that storage data and process that data. And I mean, based on your big data use cases, and include and analyzing that data and indexing the data. So this particular component, which is very useful for data warehousing related environment, and big data related environment, and Hadoop developers, especially this map reduces, I guess it is going to be analyzing the data from the big from the big data or unstructured data. So this is something like a big data developers perspective related service. This is also the one of the platform as a service, but big data related environment. And another useful for developer is AWS Elastic Beanstalk. This Elastic Beanstalk, the main advantage of Elastic Beanstalk is, let's say you have in your environment, you you might be a only developer, and your company have a Amazon account, but you don't have a much exposure on EC2 servers. Anyway, I mean, sysadmin related activities, and you are not that much good on uh, I mean, configuring the services. Okay, and also you are not that much in upgrading or patching your um, languages, something like Java, JDK related patching, or Python I mean, Python application upgrades, or um, even in your OS patches, or anything which is related to your sysadmin activities. You if you don't have that much time, or if you don't have even that much uh, knowledge, you can simply access this AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Elastic Beanstalk is something like it will provide everything for you you can simply host your application, or you can just upload your application related code, and you can access your application. And this is highly scalable. Let's say you don't know anything uh, on servers or VPCs or anything, but you have a code. So you want your code immediately going to live on Amazon servers. So this is the very easy and very useful tool for you as a developer. You don't worry about servers, you don't worry about other services, you don't worry about other storage services. It will provide you the maximum environment which is going to useful for your application. So what types of application is going to host on AWS Elastic Beanstalk? um, so .NET related application is going to host on this environment, and Go programming language related application is going to host here, and PHP, Python, Java, Node.js, Ruby. So maximum, highly usable applications is going to use to access or use to deploy in using this AWS Elastic Beanstalk related service, which is also high available. Auto scaling feature is also there, and even there is a simple a simple one click installation uh, while using or while deploying your code. At initial time, you can able to directly push the code from console, and if you don't want to push the code or push or upload your code into console, there is a one small installation. If you are going to do a small installation on your Windows machine or Mac or Linux machine or Ubuntu, you can just give a simple command and you can upload your code on spot, or you can deploy your code into the servers. So all the deployment and all the environment related things, or all the services is going to take care by Amazon Web Services, or AWS is going to take care. You just write your code and deploy your code and use AWS services. That's it. So this AWS Elastic Beanstalk is very useful for developer who don't have much exposure on infrastructure. Okay, it is very highly available, and load balancing and scaling, and you can even monitor your app health also. Okay, so so these all these developer related features you can able to access using this AWS Beanstalk. And there is another one is a cloud formation. It is something like automating your activities from the AWS side. Okay, if you are going to you don't need to use, or you don't need to create environment using AWS console, or you don't want to use using AWS commands or CLI. So at that time you can build everything using this AWS cloud formation. The main usage, like if you are going to build in your development environment, let's say you are going to use two Apache web servers, and you are going to use two Tomcat or JBoss or WebLogic or some XYZ application servers, and you want to create two databases, MySQL databases or Oracle databases, and you based on your infrastructure architecture, your infra related architecture. So you can simply write this cloud formation automation script. You can immediately your application is going to, or your environment is going to be live. So based on that, you can go and deploy your code. So AWS cloud formation advantage, this is the one advantage. So, and this is not something like a shell script or nothing much that much difficult. It is a pure JSON related, key pair related script only. So you can if you have a idea how to access or how to use, it is very easy. We'll cover cloud formation also. And CLIs. So the way if you are going to use from AWS command, I mean AWS using your console, the same way, the same thing even you can do from the AWS CLI. So but while using AWS CLI, first you need to install Python 2.6 or 2.5 or 2.6 on your local machine, and on top you can install your AWS CLI exe, or that particular image, and you can able to access, or you can able to install, or you can able to run your or use your services using the command line. And cloud formation is similar to automation, and CLI you can able to run any activity um, from the command line mode. Okay, so let me show you the console. I guess you already might access that one. So I'm using right now with my base account. So tomorrow I will show you IAM account how to create. So these are the services right now which is available on AWS. Okay, compute in the sense server related, EC2 container related in the sense Docker containers. I will explain you later. And elastic beanstalk, you can run and manage web apps immediately at any point of time. Lambda is related to the event, I mean it's related to code, run code in response to events. It is related to dev environment. And these all are the storage. This is a newly included, and it is a file system which is dedicated for Amazon EC2 servers. And this is something like a backup related service. Okay, and S3 is a storage component, and CloudFront is global content delivery network. And these all are the database related services. DynamoDB is the node NoSQL, and RDS is the relational databases. And VPC is a private network, virtual private cloud. And Direct Connect is dedicated network connection access from the AWS to your local environment. And 53 is the DNS service. And these all are the developer tools. uh, and CloudWatch, forget to update in that PPT. CloudWatch is something like monitoring your services, monitoring your environment, and monitoring your servers, and everything. Monitoring activity on Amazon Web Service is going to take care by CloudWatch. Okay, and cloud formation I already explained you. So these all are the management tools. Ops work, which it is like a DevOps tool for Chef. Ops work is a DevOps tool for Chef. And security and identity management, this is the service we are going to use, identity and access management. And if you have a active directory, so in that case you are going to use here. But if you have a mid-range company, and anyway even it's a large company, the very few people only going to handle this AWS services. So you can able to give a accessibility from here. And these all are the analytics tools and also big data related tools. This EMR is a Hadoop framework. this is the search functionality on your clusters. Kinesis is the streaming data related service. They,
Sir,
yeah.
sir, are you sharing anything? Sir, are you sharing anything? On my side, I am giving that PowerPoint CLI screen. Slide
Oh,
number 22.
yeah, I'm sharing. Are you not? I mean, you are not able to see any screen, right?
No, sir. No, sir, I am able to see the presentation, PowerPoint presentation. Slide
Okay.
number 22.
Krishna, I think, one second. Krishna, Raghu here. I think there is some issue with your internet access from your side. It is
Anyway,
because I'm able to see the proper screen of Chinnapreddy. He's showing the Amazon console.
yeah. Anyway, we will share the after completion
A
of
video. Yeah.
share the video. Hello, Krishna, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And
Sir, no issue, sir. I have followed your explanation. I was just asking if any
okay.
window you are sharing.
Oh, okay, no problem. And there is another game development related and mobile services also. They're going to add day by day. So initially, Amazon Cloud, majorly they focused on infrastructure as a service, but day by day there is a stiff competition on cloud computing, so they are adding a platform as a services tools also. Right now they are adding lot of tools. Even they are added some workspaces, work docs and work mails. So enterprise application services also they are adding nowadays. So they will add lot of other services ongoing. So but as a AWS associate, you need to learn the compute easy to compute engine and storage part, the RDS database, the basic connectivity, and VPC, route s3 and direct connect. So whatever identity access management, so these things you need to learn more. And based on your certification only will cover the all the topics and concepts. Okay. And if you have any doubts, please let me know. Tomorrow I will start with identity and access management. So for each and every topic, based on the chances or based on the availability, I will explain you even AWS commands also at the end of the class or at mid of the class. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. If you have any doubts or any questions, please let me know.
Sir, in the while explaining the AWS, you mentioned the terminology called server provisioning. So is it like installing the tools? Server provisioning in the sense, is it referring to installing the required softwares within the server?
No, no. It is something like a scaling. It is something like a auto scalability, or uh, let's say my traffic is going to or my particular server is going to increase 50% of the CPU. You have a auto scaling functionality. If you are able to see my screen, so here some auto scaling groups and launch configuration. So in that case, using this auto scaling functionality, it will immediately provision or it immediately increase the number of servers. So if you are going to configure here, you are going your Amazon environment, AWS environment is going to scale your number of servers, increases the number of server based on your configuration. So provisioning activity, you no need a basic configuration only. You need to take care. The next level of the configuration or building the environment, AWS is going to take care. And
Sir,
yeah.
one of the For one of the service I have, I have some doubts. That is regarding the landing the jobs. Like, sir, you mentioned about
Yeah, can
simple
yeah,
workflow
yeah,
service.
workflow.
Work. Sir, in that, is it similar to cron job? In Linux, there is a cron job which
No, no,
schedules
no.
the job and runs it.
No, no, not in a Linux cron jobs like that. It is something like a um dev B2B related services. Few of the B2B related services, or if you have
Uh, le- let me tell an example. Um, so let's say you know Amazon.com. You know the e-commerce website, right? So there you submit a request, okay, or you purchase something. Then the flow starts actually. So it has to go to the vendor, and vendor will let you know whether the product is available or not. If product is available, it has to get shipped, and the ship it went to courier service, and from courier service, okay, it will come to the local dispatch center. From there it comes to your home. So these all process you can see it on a Amazon website, right? So it's a simple workflow. Okay, you take a HR guy. Okay, so a HR guy may recruit a person. Okay, so till he joins in the company and he completes the onboarding process, he will have a workflow. What is the workflow? So firstly, he will collect all the documents, and then he will go with okay, so background verification, and then they release the offer letter, and then he joins. So all the access he required. So all these things are actually put it in a certain workflow. Okay, so that kind of automations you can do it with workflow service. So that you no need to worry. Why? Because see all these services, even you asked about the DynamoDB, or there is already some services which we are going to talk about in RDS. All these services, you no need to learn a particular service. So the course which you are learning is here, which is a associate, which is nothing but you are administrating the AWS. So administrating the AWS means so only you need to know how to administrate that particular service. Means if someone asks you to create a particular database service, you go and create the service, and as an administrator, you will be provisioning who are all requires the permission, and you provide those permissions, and everything goes fine. So you provide that particular service to the user, and he starts using it. You don't need to bother. So as your requirement is to ensure those particular services are there. That's all.
Yeah,
I'm
as a
clear, Krishna.
sysadmin, you need to take care of the infrastructure as service related services only. You don't need to worry about platform as a service. So platform as a service components is majorly taking care by your dev teams. You just need to be basic sysadmin activity. This AWS workflow service is related to service oriented architecture for the developer perspective. So they will build the environment based on the service. Okay, they will just ask you some. You just need to build a API or REST API service, and you might need give a that particular endpoint. So they will use that endpoint and they will work on their in their application set. But you just need to know what is the workflow and how they are going to and how they are going to monitor, or how they are going to log what the thing is going on. That information is enough. But this simple workflow service is related to service oriented architecture.